Welcome back to Like Pigs in Space, Arts and Culture podcast. I'm Aaron Mason.
And I'm Max Mason.
And here we are again.
Yes.
And it's been a week
What?
We had a surprise rainstorm come up.
Oh, cool.
For like 30 seconds. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was the other day. So much. How was your week?
Oh, it was pretty good. It's like I went to go drop off some Muddy Buddies for Chloe that she made for her coworkers, and she lives like 5 minutes away, or works like 5 minutes away.
Right.
And when I came back, it took me like almost 20 minutes to try to find a parking spot.
Yeah, you're pretty close to a business area too. So
yeah,
a
lot of trendy restaurant shoppings.
That's cool.
Other than that, it's been good.
Oh, good. You mentioned while we were talking, you mentioned about the Spotify rap thing that they do. And
yeah,
I got mine and I went through it, and I got my special message from 21 Pilots this year.
Yeah.
and also there's a podcast called So Supernatural. So that was I guess I spent some hours on that. So
yeah,
it was fun. It was weird to see, but then I looked through I always think that it maybe doesn't capture what I thought I was listening to.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm going to try and gamify it this year and see if I can have a diametrically opposed result next year. So,
yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, I started using Apple Music last year because Spotify just stopped working properly on my phone.
Weird. Okay.
So I started using that, and they have I think it's called Replay.
Yeah.
And on mine, it said I was in the top 500 listeners of Wesley Willis.
Oh.
And it was funny because it breaks down like your top artist by month too, and you could tell what I was talking about on the podcast that month.
That's hilarious. It's what it is that you listen to all the different artists the exact same amount to get the information you needed. It's just nobody listens to Wesley Willis that much anymore.
Right.
And so if you pay that much attention, it really messes up the numbers. Well, very cool. My first effort was I noticed that I didn't have any female artists as top listens, at least not the top 5 or whatever they do. And so I was, and they were all older, like 80s bands and stuff. And I was like,
then this year they had like the your listening age was something they did for
I came in at 60 because of all the 80s bands.
Okay, that's so funny. It's because like Chloe listens to pretty much like 2010s and newer.
Yeah.
For like her top artists, except for Hunky Dory by David Bowie.
Yeah.
And so it said she was like 72.
What? That's really
so she listens
funny.
to one album from early 70s or whatever that came out.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Suzanne Vega a lot this week because she has a new album. I don't know when it came out, but it was 2025. So
okay,
I decided to ramp that up.
That's cool. I was gonna bring this up beforehand. Have you seen the new Tiny Desk concert with clipping?
I saw. I didn't know it was new, but I saw a little bitty clip, and they have a machine going that's like making. Yeah. Oh.
So they do all that found sound kind of thing, but they do it live for the Tiny Desk. It's incredible.
And then he was rapping like 3,000 miles an hour, and it was so good. Yeah, that's
incredible.
I did see I have it tuned right.
Yeah.
So all right. Oh, and then just one last thing. I was talking to Ezra, and he said, "Oh, Eli showed me this artist that it sounded like the Smiths if Morrissey couldn't sing. It's
So the
like,
Smiths?
oh,
No.
they like, and so I was like, what is that? What is it? You got to ask him what band that is. And then when he found out, there's a big spear shot through my heart.
Oh.
It was the House Martins.
Oh.
And they're fantastic and one of my favorite bands. And then that same singer went on to do The Beautiful South.
Okay. Yeah.
Same guy, like the singer and one other guy from the House Martins went on to do The Beautiful South. But the song that Eli showed him is called The People Who Grin Themselves to Death. And that song does sound like the Smiths.
Yeah. It's a very
like
Smiths
the first
title.
album's different, but it does sound like the Smiths. But his voice is very different from Morrissey's, and I was like, come on. Okay, so did I ever give when you were growing up, did I ever write an excuse for you for an absence?
I feel like he did.
Okay.
I can't remember what for. I might be thinking of one that you wrote for Josie when she was in college when
I
she
did
had
do
typhoid.
that one. Yeah. I did write that one. So do you remember what that was like? Or was it
How you wrote it?
Yes.
Very extravagant.
Okay. I think typically when I had to write a sick excuse, I took it as a opportunity to show off my creative writing skills more than it was an excuse.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think that's a fun thing. It's good. It's a good opportunity to introduce a little bit of literature into somebody's life when they'd at least expect it.
Yeah.
And I was thinking along those lines. The top it's a book. I'm going to talk about a book.
Okay.
And it's going to be a stretch because but it's not really, but I hope that you're incredulous when I get to it.
Yeah.
What I was noticing because of this book is that I think it's neat when people take time to put some effort into what they're doing and show that they care about the subject matter. Because anybody can say, write this, do that, turn here, and that can happen for anybody, right?
Right.
So, do you ever notice when you get an instruction manual, when it's boring or when it's good? Do you notice the difference, or have you taken note of it? Is it something you recognize?
Not really the instructions themselves.
Okay.
But I have done that, especially at work. They'll send out every now and then they'll do surveys and be like, oh, we want to improve our technology. What can you tell us how we're doing so far? And I'll take that as an opportunity to use all my big words.
Okay. That's good. I like that.
And I think in my mind, it's like, well, if I am more articulate than just saying like everything is bad.
Yeah.
Or like this is slow. This thing is slow.
Yeah.
That they'll be more likely to believe it or want to make a change.
I think that's true.
So whenever that happens, I take the opportunity to write something out, and so it's usually kind of mean, but it's mean literarily. Yeah,
I think it's interesting when you do know how language works or what words mean, when you can get it reduced down to a very distinct and applicable word.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that thing in the English language versus some other languages where, I don't know, like in German or in Japanese or any other language, like, oh, this is a word, but it doesn't really translate into English. You wouldn't understand. It's got this. Yeah. It means this, and it's like it's the air that comes from the beneath the ears of a dog when it's happy after taking a shower. And you're like, oh, that's interesting. You have an expression for that, or
Yeah.
that's the meaning of it. And we get credited with having none of that, but we do have those words. We do. It's just they're not used very often. We have words that convey a larger message than just, yeah, it's good. Yeah, and then you can say good a number of ways, and each of those goods means something different. So I think that that's part of it. I take notice of different things. I take notice of people that have a menial task and make the best of it.
Yeah.
And I think that that is what writing a manual is, and writing instructions are. You can have boring instructions, or you can have really interesting instructions. And so I got to understand this a long time ago. So when I was, 19 or 20, somewhere in there, and I was doing the mission thing, and we had to buy a bike and we had to buy a helmet.
Yeah.
Well, there's this brand of helmet that's a really good brand. It's called, it's spelled Giro. It's Giro or Gyro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they're pretty, so somebody got one of those, and they had the little pamphlet that came with it, and I started reading it, and it was insane. It was hilarious. And I found a new version of that, and some of that stuff's taken out, but there is a section that remains that is that, and I wanted to read it because it's hilarious. It says, I think it's Giro. So in order for your Giro helmet to be effective, it must fit properly, be worn properly, and be properly fastened, which brings us to how to adjust the straps. And I'm just going to read, it's 3 paragraphs, and it's brilliant. So that's what you're getting.
Okay.
It says, the front of your helmet should fall just above your eyebrows. If the front is too low, you won't be able to see hazards like cliff edges and young freestyle prodigies. If the front is too high, you'll look like a geek, and your helmet will not provide as much protection as when positioned properly.
Whoa.
Try strapping your goggles on. If the helmet is on correctly, you won't be able to scratch your forehead. You've no doubt noticed the straps hanging off your helmet. As plush as they are, they're not there just to warm your cheeks. They're designed to keep your helmet on by buckling under your lower jaw. If your straps aren't adjusted right, your helmet won't stay on properly, so pay attention. To adjust them, fasten the buckle and tighten the chin strap by pulling on the loose end of the strap until your helmet fits snugly. How snugly? As snugly as you can without impairing your ability to chew and swallow an energy bar. Got it? Now make sure the loose end of the strap still loops back up through the rubber O-ring.
Nice.
So that was what it was like. The only thing that's missing from that is after you get it adjusted, shake your head violently and see if it falls off. Because if it doesn't fall off there, it won't fall off when you're riding. So
nice.
So that was one of the little pieces that was in the earlier one, but still somebody wrote that on assignment for, for a dumb card that was going to be handed out with every helmet.
Right.
And, it could have just been, here's how you adjust the helmet. You pull it here and da-da-da.
Right.
So I was looking up interesting helmets or not, interesting manuals.
Mm-hmm.
What cracks me up with when I kept searching this is that the top one, the top manual that they mention is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
That's cheating.
It says
an interesting manual.
Yeah. It says for its quirky advice, and it does give good advice. I mean, it's advice that you can never use. Well,
right.
Maybe we might make contact at some time. So
yeah, possibly.
maybe we'll be better prepared because of it. So, and I guess the vintage Nintendo manuals, because they were mini comics filled with lore, maps, and characters.
Ooh.
So you could learn it. And then early Apple Macintosh manuals were known for their minimalist style, witty text, and inclusion of fun philosophical content alongside instructions. So
that's cool.
what I'm going to talk about today is a the author's name is John Muir, and it's not that John Muir.
Not the hiking one, the
No,
naturalist.
I had to double check because I was like, John Muir, I think that's the guy. And so I was like, is this the same guy? John Muir, the older John Muir, is a naturalist who's known as the father of national parks.
Mm-hmm.
He died in 1914.
Okay.
And this author was born in 1918, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
That's
funny. You know, when we first got married, we were house sitting for someone.
Okay.
And they named their dog Muir after John Muir.
Okay.
So that's how I first learned about that guy existing.
Oh yeah.
Who's to a dog.
He's a cool guy. He'd be worth a whole lot of discussion as well, because he did a lot of cool stuff. I think it's and just to give him a little bit of attention.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it's interesting when you can find the person that took that marked the transition from the agrarian to the modern age in a interesting way. Because I feel like prior to that, everybody had to live in nature. Like
right.
There was a whole period of time when you had to go and clear the land and build your house and do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started getting a lot more cities in the US. And then he took people back to the forest and said, okay, now that you don't have to live here and you don't have to hike every day just to provide for yourselves, look around, see how beautiful it is, and come and enjoy it, because it's still great.
Yeah.
And I think he marks a spot in history as somebody who marks a transition, right?
Right.
And so that's interesting to see. The other manual that I pulled up, I pulled up interesting manuals, not necessarily clever, but there is, if you go on the Internet Archive. There's a spot called the Manuals Showcase. And some of the highlights are they have a manual for the IBM electric typewriter from 1954 that's just fun to look at because it's total mid-century style throughout it.
Yeah.
And all these old black and white photos of these ladies all dressed like the secretary look, right?
Right.
And they're all typing and it's just it's neat to see. And then another one that they highlighted was the Graphic Standards Manual for the New Jersey Transit Authority.
Okay.
And it's just cool looking. But then there's and I don't know if you know this of the existence of this, but have you heard of pet rocks?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so back in the 70s, but there's the manual that's called The Care and Training of Your Pet Rock.
Okay.
And so it's hilarious because it talks all about, you gotta be nice to it. It's a little shy. You gotta let it acclimate to your new home. It took a lot of jostling around to get it to you. This is what you have to do. Get to know your rock. I mean,
yeah,
hilarious. And then it even has a training manual, like how to train it to stay. It says train it to come, train it to stay. And then it says sit and down and stand. So
all things could do pretty well.
For stand, it says you're a little confused if you think a pet rock can be taught to stand. A rock has no feet. So it simultaneously recognizes it's a rock and also pretends like it's not. It's kind of so that was funny. And then there's also a manual that is, it's real.
That's good.
From the CIA.
Okay.
Called Simple Sabotage Field Manual.
Nice.
And it's been declassified, but it's from 1944, and it's how to sabotage stuff, basically. Like it says, a second type of simple sabotage requires no destructive tool whatsoever and produces and produces physical damage, if any, by highly indirect means, is based on universal opportunities to make faulty decisions, to adopt a non-cooperative attitude, and to induce others to follow suit.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah. Making a faulty decision may be simply a matter of placing tools in one spot instead of another. A non-cooperative attitude may involve nothing more than creating an unpleasant situation among one's fellow workers, engaging in bickering, or displaying surliness and stupidity.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's just one paragraph.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the title, section 3, Motivating the Saboteur. It's this is kind of brilliant. They need to make a movie of this.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
and
It
before
reminds me of like going down like those YouTube rabbit holes of all the like fast food training videos.
Yes, yeah, exactly, and that's so there's these, right? There's manual. This one's not really trying to be clever. Well, it's not trying to be clever for humor. It's trying to be clever to disrupt world politics, so,
Right.
and help you spy on people. The other ones are, some manuals you get are interesting. Some manuals, I found the manual for one of my typewriters, one of my Olivetti typewriters, and it was just pretty. It's a pretty manual. It's well done. It's nice to look at. If you like typewriters, I mean, it's like if you get a diagram of a train engine and you're autistic, you are probably pretty happy. So, I know I'd be. So that's fun. But there's also those that are clever, taking something that's simple and pointless and making it really interesting. And I was introduced to it. So what I'm going to talk about is a manual.
Okay.
Which that
cool.
sounds weird, but the reason I want to talk about it is because it's really well written and it's really entertaining.
Okay.
But before that, there's also a long a history. It's good that you mentioned the training videos. Okay. So a lot of people made them and they're funny because the people don't know that they're funny. Like most of them, they're pretty serious about the thing. It's just, it was so awkward that you laugh at it. Right.
Right.
Well, a while ago, and this started a trend, John Cleese from My Python started a company to do training videos.
Really?
Yeah. And it's still going. Like, it was very successful.
Wow.
But that was the whole goal, was to make training videos that were not terrible and were entertaining and had humor so that you'd remember things. So when I worked for DHL, I was a trainer and I got to go to Atlanta for a week to do a train the trainer. And we were doing all these customer service training modules. And so they were like a 4.5 hour module we were learning. But what was included was these videos from this company that was John Cleese's company.
Whoa.
They were great. Proven by the fact that I could get people to come into my class, sit for 4 hours, and not fall asleep.
Nice.
Because you've done training at work, I'm sure. And after about 30 minutes, you're like, stab me in the eyes. Right?
Yeah.
So they were brilliant. What was interesting is that I think there's, maybe 36 actors in all of the UK, and they use them over and over and over again in everything. So one of them, because I hadn't watched the new, I think it was on Doctor Who, I don't know, it was something, but one of the ladies in the video, who is a serious manager lady, was apparently in like a really evil person in Doctor Who.
Okay.
And so everybody's like, oh, you could tell who the nerds were at work, but they're like, that's a little scary. Because apparently I think it was one of the incarnations of the master.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
Gotcha.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, then you're not a nerd, but
Did I ever tell you why I started watching Doctor Who?
No, why?
Oh, it's not a great reason. So it was in high school, and I had this. It was my Guitar 2 class, which is supposed to be the advanced guitar class.
Right.
But I was, beyond that at that point.
Right.
It was advanced because there was like 7 chords.
Oh.
But in that class there was a girl who I liked, and she really liked Doctor Who, and I had seen like a couple of episodes at that point.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh yeah, I know Doctor Who," and she'd start talking to me about characters, and she'd be like, "Oh, so who's your favorite companion?" And it's like, and I'd be like, and then she'd be like, "I like this person." It's like, "Oh yeah, they're pretty good." And I was like, "This isn't sustainable, and I'm gonna run out of things to talk about, so I gotta watch all of it."
Good. Well, many things have started because of an interest in the opposite sex. So, today when I take training classes at my current job, there's a program they use called Second City Works. And so Second City is a comedy group in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so a lot of big people, like tons of people
like
come
everyone.
out. Yeah, come out of Second City. And so it was really funny. It's one guy oh, God, what's his name? It's the guy that did the skit about the shirt that has more lines in it, and so it's more expensive.
Oh, Tim Robinson.
Yeah, Tim Robinson was in the most recent one I saw.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, and so
whoa.
So some of them are just kind of a straightforward. You can't do that. This is a work environment. This is an HR violation. And they're pretty straight. His was hilarious. It was I don't even remember what it's about, which maybe is not that. I was just going, I know this guy, but they let him be him, and he played it that way. But he got the point across. But it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I think he got to say something about punching children. So
nice.
And somehow it wasn't out of place in this particular training video.
Chloe was laughing the other day when she learned the concept of his new show, the chair company.
No, I've seen ads for it, but I don't know what's the concept of it.
So the concept is this guy falls off a chair and embarrasses himself, and then he figures out if he can sue the chair company because he fell off their chair.
Oh, no.
Or something about like that. And Chloe found that out, and thinks it's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, something that's like, can they do that? Can they make a chair that people fall out of?
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should jump into the actual manual. So
yeah.
But anyway, I think that it's very helpful because then you want to go back to training or doing if it's entertaining. So what I'm talking about is a repair manual.
Okay.
And it's called How to Keep Your Volkswagen Alive. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, okay. I feel like I have seen that sitting around.
I've had it around. We've had Volkswagens for long enough, and see the markers.
Oh yeah.
So I want to read a few things. The gentleman, that John Muir guy, he died back in the 70s. So the first iteration of this book was in 1969.
Okay.
So this does predate a lot of the more entertaining manuals. So
yeah.
I can't say for sure, but I think this might have influenced people to be entertained.
Yeah.
So this is the introduction. Your Volkswagen is not a donkey, but the communication considerations are similar.
Nice.
When you start something off like that, it's great.
Yeah.
It says, but what his point is, your car is constantly telling your senses where it's at, what it's doing, and what it needs. I don't speak donkey, but I'm fairly conversant in Volkswagen and will help you learn the basic vocabulary of this language. So your bus, bug, Gia, fast squareback, Safari, the Thing, 411, or 412 can become an extension of your own sensory equipment. Perhaps the idea of feeling about your car is a little strange, but herein lies a type of rapport which will bridge the communication gap between you and your transportation.
Wow.
So this book and the way it's written is very, it reminds me of another book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that.
Which I still haven't finished because it's one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, but it doesn't go anywhere very fast. And so it's just like, here, I'm going to read this beautiful passage and it's a good meditation. I don't need to read anymore.
Yeah.
So,
right.
But this reminds me of that because it's saying a manual, and it even mentions there's plenty of manuals that get very technical, but they also assume that you're a mechanic. And I've seen those. We went to the mechanic and they opened a book that's a mechanic's book and they say, oh, to do that on this car takes this long and we charge you this. And it's set out in the manual. Like it's a known thing.
Yeah, like a known standard.
Yeah, a known standard for how long it takes to do that. And they are very technical. This is not that. He says, I am a man, engineer, mechanic, lover, feeler who has worked and felt with cars of all descriptions over the years. He goes, I don't expect you to become a mechanic. I've done that. My understanding and knowledge will be yours to work with. And he says, while the levels of logic of the human entity are many and varied, your car operates on one simple level, and it's up to you to understand its trip. Talk to the car, then shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Feel with your car. Use all of your receptive senses, and when you find out what it needs, seek the operation out and perform it with love. The type of life your car contains differs from yours by time scale, logic level, and conceptual anomalies, but is life nonetheless. Its karma depends on your desire to make it and keep it alive.
Whoa.
So
a lot of pressure right out the gate.
It is, but it's also like some of the best advice, and there's actually really good relationship advice in here too, and also how to keep the peace. So he says, and then he talks about the book. He says how to use this book is the next chapter. It's chapter 1. It says, now that you've spent your bread for this book, read it. Read it all the way through like a novel, skipping the detailed steps and the procedures, but scan all the comments and notes.
Okay. So
he is writing this so you understand why he's doing this. And then he also says, he says, this book has been designed, in addition to making me some bread, to fill the gap between what to and how to. There's plenty of books, the books and manuals that have been written to satisfy the what to thing, but you have to have some preliminary knowledge. This is where he's talking about that. He says, I'm trying to close the gap and have assumed you know nothing, i.e., that you are an idiot mechanically. So, it's good because he tells you where he's coming from. He tells you how it's written. But he also says, do all the steps. Don't skip. Don't shortcut. Don't do what your friend says. Follow this step by step. You won't understand why if you're not a really good mechanic, but there's reasons.
Yeah.
And then I want to skip over. I have a whole bunch of stuff. But he has this whole thing about different things like analysis, preparation, safety. He says cars can be dangerous and deadly weapons. They kill more people by accident than are shot on purpose. So he tells you, and this is really good. And this is good advice for kind of how to make your life work better. Because he says, no matter how tired, cold, miserable, or pissed off you are, don't make borderline decisions against safety and for convenience. Yeah. So this is, I think it's really neat because there's some stuff in here that's just like, do it because it's good. Take the time, go through the steps. And it also says, don't try and do everything by yourself. It said, like here, miscellaneous instructions. Get someone to read the steps to you the first time you do a procedure, and even the second. There's nothing worse than trying to turn pages with greasy hands or trying to read while lying under the car with dirt falling in your eyes. So I encourage you to have, to socialize. It says, besides, 2 heads are better than 1. And I can remember many a time that your mom would be sitting out next to me while I'm working on the car, and she'd have the manual open and be reading it to me. Yeah. And then like, did you do this? Yeah, I got that. Can you want to look? And she'd look and like, okay, that's how it looks in the book, like back and forth. And it was always better. Yeah. It always made the work better. And then it says, take your time. Just do the job once and well. You have an eternity. Don't improvise. Just do it the way it says. That's the whole paragraph there. And then this is a fantastic bit of advice. Not the first part, but the reason why. He says, wear the right clothes. And then he gives the reason. There's no way better to keep peace in the family than to wear car clothes to work on the car. Great advice.
Yeah.
Set it aside. Don't mess up all your good clothes. Change into your car clothes.
Yeah.
And
that's funny. I wonder how much of that, I mean, I'm sure, this is how you do cars now, and that's how I watched you work on cars.
Yeah.
But it's funny how much of that is whenever I have to do a little bit of work on cars, like I have a car shirt. That's I like this shirt, but it's also gotten dirty a lot, so I'm just going to keep using it. And,
yep.
And
I keep
it's a lot more enjoyable if I'm not out there by myself. And
Right. I do keep shirts specifically because I know I'm going to have to do work.
Yeah.
Your grandpa Ashcraft had his car working flannel that was ripped up, but it was the one he wore when he'd work on the car.
Yeah.
So
wow.
There's 3 paragraphs here that are really interesting too, that go along with that kind of advice. So it says step 6 is cleanliness. And this one's interesting. It says, keep everything clean as you go along. Clean parts so they shine, or get someone to do it. When you are through, clean your tools and put them away before you take your coveralls off. Then clean yourself and change your clothes before you drive the car, or at least cover the seat with something so you don't get the inside greasy. Also keeping the peace. And then step 7, let's play a game. Guess what step 7 is?
Does it take a break?
Oh, that could be. That could fit into it, but it's not a word you'd think you'd see in a manual.
Is it,
it's an emotion
or reflect.
It's an emotion. So I won't make you guess too much, but like you wouldn't expect this. But step 7, love.
Oh.
So he says, this is a tough one and will make or break you. You must do this work with love or you fail. You don't have to think, but you must love. This is one of the reasons I have nice tools.
Yeah.
If I get hung up with maybe a busted knuckle or a busted stud, I feel my tools like art objects or lovely feelies until the rage subsides and sense and love return. Try it. It works. And that's probably the bit of advice that sticks out the most to me is this is why I have good tools. And just sit there, clean them, look at them, say, man, I've got nice tools. And it really calms you down.
Yeah.
So, and then the PS, and it says good luck. And it says PS, the procedures may read like gibberish in the living room in front of the fire, but will come clear as you work directly with the hardware, the tools in your hand. So, it may not make sense. So that's good. Also, it has, if you can see, but so another aspect of this book that makes it particularly interesting is that there are no photographs in it, They did
Yeah.
everything with line drawings so you could see exactly the thing that you need to look at.
Wow.
And that is a problem with other manuals. I'll just say they take a photograph and you're like, okay, I think one of the things I need to work on is in this picture, but what is it?
Yeah.
I'm in the region, I'm in the neighborhood, but I don't know which thing I should yank on.
Right.
So, and this does, it just shows it really clearly. And then it goes on to explain everything. The beginning of chapter 2, along with word problems in math and Zen principles, the operation of a motor car can seem to be a first water mystery. One definition of a mechanic is someone who looks at an automobile as a system. In this frame of reference, an idiot would be one who looks at a car as a series of problems. And then he says, here's a generalized story to help you put a little light on how a car runs so you can dig it. So I started reading this, and it is a 9-page story. That's not a story. It's just what a Volkswagen is and what its characteristics are. And so he gets you to read this like it's a story.
Yeah.
But it's not a story. It's just like, this is a piston. This is a cylinder head. This is fuel injection. This is a pressure switch. These are what they do.
Yeah.
Some of them in the old cars are like this. In the new cars, they're like this. And it's really funny. And then the last picture that's in it is some guy on a desert island reading the manual. So, so there's that. He goes into how to buy a Volkswagen, and it's also as a study in how to look out for yourself. Because he says before you even start it, there's there's at least 6 steps before you even start the car.
Well, okay.
So, which include looking underneath it, looking for all the different aspects of it, looking around the car, seeing if everything's, and then he's like, you're there looking at it. It says, now stand back and look at it again. Does it stand up with pride? Does it feel good to you? Would you like to be its friend? Use your senses. Sit in the driver's seat and scrunch your butt around. Hold the wheel and close your eyes and feel.
Nice.
So it does say, do all these things and then walk away. He even says here, walk away and think about it. Get in a lotus position, whatever you got to do. Don't make a decision right there. Walk away. Did you see everything you wanted? Is it, and then you talk about price. Then you start the car up. Then you, and so that's really interesting. And he even tells you how to, he talks about negotiation for getting the right price.
Nice.
So, and then tools and spare parts is the next chapter. And, he says, people who philosophize about tools say the best are none too good, but the semantics of best are beyond anything. Every Volksy has some tools kicking around. Some come with the car from the factory and are supposed to handle the simplest things. But if you've ever tried to get the lug nut off a flat tire with that thing they call a wrench, then and only then do you realize how impractical they are.
Yeah.
So he goes into this whole explanation of and he even says phase 1 tools through phase 1 tools and parts, and then phase 2 tools and parts, and phase 3 tools and spares. So he's like, first level stuff, you just need this. These are the basics you need to do most things. Most things that you would be a novice and have to learn. When you get a little bit more talented, then you can move to phase 2. And then you might need these tools, which is cool. And then and then he says he carries a lot of spare parts. So there's a lot of advice through here. Yeah. And then he talks about how to drive a Volkswagen. And we haven't even gotten to repairs yet.
Yeah.
It says how to drive a Volkswagen with love, of course, probably the best advice I can give you, but there are certain differences from American Iron that might help you understand what this particular type of love means. It says first in the Volkswagen, you have to shift, which sounds dumb, but what he says, so in muscle cars, sometimes you can skip a gear. You can go from first to third. It's called a power shift. He's like, you can't do that. You have to, he goes, and this requires a degree of coordination between your left foot and your right foot that only practice will develop. There are 4 gears forward, and you have to use them all the time. So no shortcuts like starting in second and skipping third. You must use all 4 gears. So he's just saying that's how it's made.
Nice.
And then he says, don't over rev the engine, never lug the engine, which is being in too high a gear for where you're at. So says you must shift down on that hill or in town to keep the engine at about 2,000, or you'll pay for it with a new engine. So, And then he says, check the oil, check the belts, all that stuff. And then safety. And he talks about the semantics of driving safety become more confusing every day as safety equipment gets more complicated and sophisticated. If safety equipment like seat belts, rubber baby bumpers, folding steering wheels had lowered the accident rate, I'd be for it, but I feel it has increased accidents. If your car is properly maintained with good brakes and steering, clean windshields, lights and wipers that work and all that, then your safety is a direct function of what you are being as you whistle down the road. If we all constantly drive as if we're strapped to the front of the car like Aztec sacrifices so we'd be the first thing hit, there would be a hell of a lot less accidents.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah. And then we start into like chapter 6.
Well, yeah.
Is flat tires. So that's good. And then it starts doing the manual thing. So
yeah.
And it reads through. It is sentence. It's not like bullet points. It is you read and you see and you do. And so it's a really good manual as far as that. And it's really intuitive, and I've been able to fix things that I didn't think I could fix. Then there's this in chapter 15, because the middle of it's just lots of drawings and lots of instructions, and it's entertaining, but but the titles are interesting. So I'll go to the front. It says, you already heard how to use the book, How to Drive, but it says chapter 7, engine stops or won't start. This is where you go. Yeah. 8 is red light on, which is generator or alternator. The 9, so 9 is green light on, oil red light. Then it has a maintenance section, and it says Volkswagen doesn't stop. Next chapter, shimmies and shakes, which is the front end. Next chapter, slips and jerks, which is the clutch. Next one is grinds and growls, the transaxle. So it's kind of funny because it puts it in terms of, well, I'm experiencing this growling. Oh, okay, you got to go. It's probably in this section. And then he has a engine overhaul, and he has this little story that's kind of funny. It says, back in the Red Dog Saloon era, there was a garage in Carson City run by a sympathetic super mechanic named Muldoon. When you were pushed into Muldoon's, he looked and listened to your sick engine, asked how far you needed to go and how much bread you had. Then he nodded his head and showed you where you could work on your engine out back. When you ran into problems, he left his profitable highway trade to give you a hand. You made it to where you needed to go, but God help you if you tried to drive 50 miles further. We tell you about Muldoon because he has the type of genius an indigent VW owner needs when it comes emergency time. The ability to balance the available bread and labor against the immediate mileage requirement. Yeah.
Whoa.
And then he says, in an emergency, the Volkswagen reacts well to any scrambling on your part to keep it going, but you really have to keep your promises to it. Muldoon's last words as you drove away were, don't forget to get that fixed right when you get there. You're on the road from New York to LA. $75 is all you got. You're near Santa Fe running on 3 cylinders with an engine that's overheating badly like that. Don't give up and thumb, but do a compression check, and keeps going. So
Yeah.
it's neat because it covers not just how to fix stuff, but also how to get to the next spot.
Right. Yeah.
After
That's really
engine
cool.
overhaul, I skipped a lot of the next few chapters because they were written posthumously by somebody else,
Oh, okay.
which were other people that had worked with him, and they talk about they also talk about ramping up the performance stuff, and which is like more modern people, the high performance modifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he says the son of the old mailbag. So they talked about letters they get from people.
Mhm.
But this one is from him. He says, in the original mailbag, John said, one of the most important items a writer suggested I emphasize is cessation of thought, which means
Okay.
do what the book says. Chant, whistle,
Yeah.
listen to what is being read to you, but don't think, okay, we know what he meant and in general are in favor of thought. He says, but don't think, okay? We know what he meant in general and are in favor of thought, but some kinds of thinking may interfere with your ability to follow these instructions. So that was the interesting thing is he's written it. He goes, I know what I'm doing. Trust me.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and that is the subtitle of this book is A Manual of Step-by-Step in Procedures for the Complete Idiot.
Whoa.
So-
Nice.
Which is great.
Yeah. It was fun.
So then we go back here, how to keep your, and this is the other funny part. So repair, fine.
Yeah.
This is at the end of the how to keep your VW alive forever. And it just talks about all the things you should replace regularly to
Right.
keep it alive and what you should do. This is how to keep your VW book alive forever. So it says, beginning in 1981, the spiral binding was dropped and the so-called perfect binding this book now sports was adopted. Not only was the spiral binding very expensive, but it had a tendency to get squashed in shipping, making it unsellable at the bookstore. That left a problem, however. The book no longer lies flat when opened. A sad state of affairs when you're working on your VW. Fret not, dear reader, for we have come up with a solution. Drill holes for a 2 or 3 ring binder, cut off the spine, and pop it into one of your kids' notebooks. Not only will it lie flat wherever you open it, it is also protected by the binder. Here's how. And it gives instructions for how to do it.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Which includes drawings of you clamp it this way, you drill this way, and you and then you cut off the back this way with a hacksaw. So yeah, it's so that's hilarious too. And then there's a grab bag that's like stuff that wouldn't fit someplace else.
Yeah.
And then just to show that it's artwork, I guess, in literature, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of a German comic book that's about Volkswagens.
Cool.
And then there's this written right here, a written chart that is a troubleshooting chart, and which is it's illustrated. It goes on for 1, 2, 3, 4. So like it starts, VW doesn't start, kicking tires, no help. And so condition 1, it tells, and it goes, okay, you have to do this. And then it's that flow chart thing. Is it do this? Yes, no. But it's fun to look at. It's just this would be a good poster.
Yeah.
The drawings.
Did kicking the tires actually help the engine at times?
No, he's just saying kicking the tires doesn't help.
Okay.
Yeah. But people are like, oh, go kick the tires. Like, no, just do this.
Okay.
And then part 2 is you got symptoms, does stuff. And then part 3 is VW craps out. It says, turn your flashers on now. And then it shows you what to do. Some very interesting ones like engine sputters to a stop or engine quits in a rainstorm. things like that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
or the engine keeps quitting, like it doesn't idle and stuff like that. So good tips, and you can know where to go, and then you can refer back to the book, and it's great. And there's a
Yeah.
bunch of specifications. There's also in one part of it a bunch of drawings of the different vehicles, which is fun to see. And
Mhm.
overall, there's this idea, I think it's in Japanese business, that I thought it was called the Shogun ethic. I don't think that's it, but it might be. But the idea is
Yeah.
that from the janitor to the CEO, everybody has a part to play. And if somebody doesn't play their part, then things don't get done.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so it gives value to every level of the job, and every level of the in the company relies on every other level. I think
Yeah.
this book kind of does that thing where it gives importance to something very mundane, and
Nice. Yeah.
and and it's fun to read, and it gives you good advice, like get cleaned up,
Yeah.
uh, keep the peace, do it with love, or you're not going to be happy.
Right.
And so I try and emulate what this is when I have to do instructions. I try and make them entertaining.
Yeah.
When I have to do sick excuses, I try and make them hilarious.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you
Well,
think? Is it worthwhile?
I think it is. Yeah. I I really like that. I have you noticed if it I mean, sure, but has it translated to like other vehicles you've worked on?
The
I mean, I know
principles.
it's not like
Yeah. No.
yeah.
Yeah. The principles of definitely, because I actually read this. Well, I think it was when I was first married, because that's when we had a VW. And
Mhm.
so I've been reading this book for a long time, and finding all these little interesting bits in it. And so I already knew the have nice tools and keep things clean, and and do stuff together. And so all of that is uh, has translated very much
Yeah.
so, not just to fixing cars, right? And
Yeah.
so it just does make things better. I have a little bit of a, and maybe it can be a difficult financial impact too, because you think I need to have a good and right tool.
Yeah.
Um, so, but
Yeah.
it does make a difference when you have the right
Yeah.
tool.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me like whenever I'm shopping for not just tools but just anything,
Yeah.
I try not to buy anything before holding it. Like I don't really like online shopping
Yeah.
that much
Yeah.
because I like to go and hold it. And it's like, does this just feel good to hold?
Right.
It's kind of like the does it spark joy
Yes.
in
Yeah.
a way, but
And that's what this, when you go to buy a car, it's the same thing he's saying here of like, walk away. Do you still like it?
yeah.
Is it still, do you want to be its friend?
Yeah.
And I just think that's exactly. I think it's interesting because a lot of times the stuff shows up and you're like, sometimes that can work in reverse. Like when we bought the shaved ice machine,
Yeah.
because we bought it, I thought it can't possibly be that big for such a good price. Like we paid for it, and like, well, this has got to be a small machine, because it wasn't
Yeah.
very much. And it got there, and it was a full size industrial shaved ice machine.
Yeah. I think it's great.
And we were very happy because it does a very good job. So
Yeah.
I encourage people to look for literature and art wherever they may be. This is a very pretty book too, because the drawings are really great. So
Yeah.
and
It
not
looks
all of them are about cars. Some of them are just little things like vignettes about. This one has right here on this page is just some drawings of ducks. So
nice.
I
Yeah.
don't know why, but he's talking about the master cylinder, and just to separate things, he's just got some ducks drawn in. So why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
It makes you happy. It's a distraction.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I think especially like nowadays where things like that, like Like this whole time I've been thinking about the Munch Squad
Yes. Yeah.
and taking the time to read
Yes.
these press releases that are really for
Exactly.
no one, but there's people who write them and take time to and put effort into it. And
Yeah. I love that Munch Squad makes me lose it.
yeah,
Because it really is. You're like, this is the most. Somebody was serious when they wrote this,
yeah.
but then
This is our job. And
Yeah, it's their job, and then it's hilarious, and it shouldn't be, but it is. But sometimes you think, oh, they know what they're doing. They're saying some stuff that they're doing this because they know it's goofy, and they think, and also I think maybe they know they think nobody's ever going to read it.
Yeah.
And then it ends up on a very big podcast. It's so good. I had one, can't remember which one it was, but I had one that I was laughing so hard I had to pull over. It was so bad. I was losing it. Like I went hoarse and everything. So
it's the best. But yeah, I think especially now, like where things like that are probably some of the first things that are being lost to like AI.
Yeah.
Where it's just like it's a instruction manual. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, but if there's people who take time and care into doing that and should be appreciated, even if it's not like that every time. It should be a valued job still.
I would encourage anybody to take any opportunity they can to add at least a little bit of creativity into what they do.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is. In all honesty, and this is how I do my job. Like I infuse creativity into my job, or I would hate it. I would just, I'd hate to work because working without creativity. But
yeah,
you'd be surprised at how well it goes over, and how well it's received. If you're not being disrespectful, and you're just being creative, and you're just having fun, then it's infectious. It's a life affirming. It's a positive environment. It's a positive work environment. I like to celebrate people for their accomplishments and for being able to do something creative. And so it's great. And it really makes a better environment. You can tell when I can tell when I go to a plant or a factory where there's not creativity as opposed to ones where they celebrate some creativity. So,
yeah. I think I try to do that a lot at my work too. And I think people notice it. Like we get a lot of comments whenever people come in. It's like, oh, this is my favorite branch because I do a lot of decorating, and I have like this like little wire sculpture guy who sits on my desk. And
awesome.
And it's funny. Is exactly the same, but Chloe and I were talking, and I was thinking about how on my mission, I was always in areas that the members didn't really have great opinions of the missionary.
Oh,
and I'd go in there and be like, well, I don't know these people. I don't know why. I don't have any reason to be mean to them, and so I just kind of be myself.
Right.
And especially in my second area, the guy I was with, like we'd go to dinner with somebody. And afterwards, he'd be like, that was like the nicest they've ever been. And it's like, well, I wasn't going in there thinking they'd be mean to us. So,
yeah, I really also believe, and you're demonstrating that. I also believe in, fine, tell me what you think is the problem, and ignoring it. And I want to give everybody a chance to tell me who they are on their terms, not on the 6 people that have told me about them before. Now, I will be aware.
Right.
But it's like, oh, this person's horrible and they don't talk to me. Well, that sounds like it's a challenge. Mm-hmm. And let's see if we can get, then I game it. I'm a real fan of gamifying things that are unpleasant.
Yeah.
So, good. Having fun.
Yeah.
That's important. Well, thanks for entertaining this odd choice, but I really I hope it was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's really good. I like it. I like trying to find more things that stretch what can be defined as art and culture.
Yeah, exactly. It is probably the only repair manual that sits in the house.
Yeah, right.
As opposed to out in the garage, because it's pretty enough to put on the shelf. It's got pretty drawings. It's entertaining. So
yeah, awesome.
It sits with our literature.
Cool.
So, well, thanks for coming on this journey, and it was a great time.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks to everyone listening and continuing to do so.
Yeah,
awesome.
All whoever you are, we appreciate it, and we're having a good time. So hope you have a good time too.
Yeah, in our creator wrapped, it said we were in the top 10 podcasts for 16 people.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. I like that. Appreciate those 16.
Yes. Yeah.
Very good. Well, awesome. Max, have a great week and look forward to next time.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Take care.
Bye.